Hey, good evening, folks. Sunday evening, about ready for another work week. Wanted to talk tonight about how our relationship to soil is really just a mere reflection of our relationship to our own health. As a newbie person who's taken on the curiosity of how food is raised and how food grows in a garden, I have found myself at a crossroads, whether to put myself down the road of buying the products for my soil or investing time in the process. And before that, when I was really into weightlifting and all that stuff, I also found myself at a crossroads as to, was I going to invest myself in the products and the supplements and the pills and the powders and the products, or invest myself in the process, the slow process of longevity of taking control of my health. And I gotta say, I went for the product. I went for the pills, I went for the GNC, I went for the quick result, and I almost stepped in the same mousetrap when I started doing the whole small scale farming thing too. I almost was in full bait for the soil amendments and all that type of stuff. And then I really started diving in deep, because when I was teaching school, I harped all the time to my students, and they were screaming back at me, "Hey, Mr. K, you're a fat hypocrite." Oh, they got me. Yeah, so I backpedaled a little bit and started looking at what I was doing. And with the gardening thing, I was trying to turn something quick, and it's not designed to be quick. My relationship to my soil, I realize, is pretty profound. I don't know if we all realize this. I didn't learn this till a few months in. If I scoop up some dirt and I put it under a microscope, and I take some fluid out of my, small intestine and put it under a microscope, they're the exact same bacteria. I didn't know that. And I became curious about this. My whole family, we had E. coli a couple years ago, and my whole relationship with bacteria. While we were in the hospital, everything was, they try to keep stuff super clean. Yet, I heard nurses over talking several times about different bacteria that are antibiotic resistant. And in the farming world, I'm hearing about all these weeds, super weeds, that are antibiotic resistant, because the spray we spray on them was first patented as an antibiotic. So we have both nature and medicine screaming back at us that they're coming for us. And in doing so, it really has made me stand back and think, okay, well, I want to promote biology in both my gut and on my soil. So obviously that would make me want to take a probiotic. Well, I started reading into that, and I've taken probiotics before. I think the thought of a probiotic is a good idea. However, what most of us don't realize after doing the research of it is most probiotics are extracted from a rumen of a cow, which is a lactobacillus-based they're a fermenting vat, and we use hydrochloric acid. Two completely different systems of digestion. And what ends up happening when we take these probiotics is it almost ends up of creating more of a monoculture, which when we put a monoculture in nature, guess what happens? Nature hates that. And it invites all these bugs, and it invites all these weeds, and then we have to invest more into products of trying to kill the weeds and trying to kill the bugs. And the same thing happens with our health. When we take the probiotics, what we've noticed in the world of autism, in the 70s, I don't know the statistic to be positive, but it's gone from 1 in 10,000 to now we're at 1 in 30 some. And of course there's always we didn't quite know how to diagnose autism 40 years ago. Well, maybe so, but I can guarantee you moms were noticing a drastic difference in when their child goes from completely normal talking to completely silent, only eats 2 or 3 foods and is smacking their head against the wall and can't deal with routine changes. All mothers would recognize that. No mother on the planet would go, I just didn't know. What we've now learned about autism in the last year, after making the gut-brain connection and 10 years ago decoding the human genome, is that we have noticed that in the microbiome of an autistic child, we see a huge decimation of the diversity of flora in the gut. And what they're now doing is they are re-inoculating the microbiome through a fecal transplant of children, from healthy children, and all of a sudden we see all these behavior changes happen within hours. And that to me is profound, that we haven't gone, oh my, what are we doing? So can we really point our finger to any one thing in particular, like so many people are like, oh, it's vaccines, and oh, it's bleach, and oh, no. Because I think as soon as we try, as much as we run towards the products to help enhance things, we also run towards the products to try to blame. And well, I don't think we could ever point to any one product in particular that has caused all of the widespread, neurological, dementia-like, behavioral-like, metabolic-like, digestive problems. It's not one product in particular, it's the process that we've all adopted in our relationship to food. And we've become so disconnected. We don't know the farmer that the chicken we ate. Just tonight we enjoyed some pork. We knew exactly where it came from. We knew everything about that. Well, almost everything about that pig. And that was so comforting. It's not comforting for me to sit down at a table anymore and not know what I'm eating and who prepared it. It's weird for me to try to ask God to ask something to be a nourishment to my body when I don't know exactly how it was treated. That to me has been a journey. I'm not expecting anybody watching this video to have the same sort of relationship with their food, but that's something that's changed in myself in the last 2 years. I wasn't like that 2 years ago. Neither were any of my friends. In fact, for those of you watching this video, I have heard some really awesome testimonies through word of mouth of people come up and talk to me and go, man, I was thinking about this the other day. Talked to somebody in church this morning, same thing. Talked to somebody tonight at dinner. And man, I don't really care how many views and subscribers we're getting. This is really just about you and my friends. I don't really want some shares here. That's not what this is about. It's more about, can we as a circle of influence to each other, help each other out, and causing each other, all of us to think, because we all have so many different backgrounds and different stories that we can share with each other. And that testimony has really, it's done a lot to motivate me and to reach out to other people, to other farmers in the area. I've had some moms reach out to me in the last couple of weeks with just ideas for trying to, change their own health habits and health habits in their children. And it's been powerful for me and them, for both of us. It's created a community together, and I want to thank you guys for those of you that have talked to each other about it, or maybe just through Messenger or something. You might share this with one of your friends, like, hey, this has me thinking. So a shout out to you guys. Thank you guys very much. So yeah, think about how much you are relying on product instead of process, because the process is where it's at. If you're one of my students from Iola, thanks for silently holding me accountable, for helping me to practice what I preach to you guys. I've translated it from the classroom and music to here on the farm. And yeah, I got to invest in the process, because the product is going to let us down. It's going to cost us more money. It's going to take away from our bottom line every time. We were never meant to rely on products. The processes that God put here on this planet, those are what we need to all rely on. Each other and process. Anyway, love you guys. Hope you guys have had an awesome weekend this weekend. And I plan to see you guys bright and early tomorrow about some cold showers. It's time. We just got to do it. So here we go. Tomorrow morning. We'll catch you guys later. See ya.